Cup of Joey with what a lot of people, and even myself as a Steelers fan, would probably agree with, the greatest kicker of all time from the Baltimore Ravens, Justin Tucker. Justin, how we doing, my man?
We're doing good, man. We're staying positive and testing negative. Well, at least now we are. Um, no, we're all good, man. How about you?
Doing well, same. Thank you for the time. Appreciate you joining me. So that's one thing. Like I said, I had to wear this hat because that was when I first started noticing Justin Tucker was following me on Twitter, is because you responded well to the staying positive mantra. So what is that? Is that kind of, have you carried that over to the Ravens at all?
So we have. And I love the genesis of the stay positive, test negative thing, because I like the way you described it. That water cooler guy at the office. Hey, how you doing? I'll just living the dream. Yeah, in 2020, that guy is, staying positive, testing negative, and
Okay.
I got a pretty good kick out of that. So I've said something along those lines in one of our first like virtual team meetings it had to have been as far back as like April, May, or June. And I think Harbs got on and was just saying like, what's up to everybody? It was one of our first meetings. He said, how's everybody doing? And I just chimed in, hit the unmute, staying positive, testing negative. And he's like, I like that. So we have a training camp t-shirt every year. So one year, like one of my favorite ones was Marshall Yonda said at the end of practice one day, like, embrace the grind. So we got t-shirts that said, embrace the grind. Last year it was nobody cares, work harder. And this year when we showed up for one of our first days of training camp, we had t-shirts in our locker that said, stay positive, test negative.
No freaking way.
So I have to congratulate you on your humor has matriculated its way into the Ravens locker room. I know you're a Steelers fan. You might have qualms about it. You're going worldwide.
Yeah, a little bit of qualms, but I mean, at the same time, even though it's the Ravens, it is a message I think we can all get behind. So if that little bit of can have an impact even on the Ravens in a positive way, then that's what we're all about. But see, that's what's funny, man, is that so Jim Harbaugh then started tweeting that, because I don't think John Harbaugh is very active on Twitter last time I checked, but Jim is. So he started tweeting that, and then people were like, wait, like, did you take this from him? Did you take all this stuff? I was like, no, I was the originator. That was me. So I think that it went from me, now confirmed by you, to John Harbaugh, and now Jim Harbaugh is using it. So we have like
full circle.
What's weird full circle trickle down effect going on.
Yeah. I mean, hey, good comedy is good comedy. Comedy doesn't know rivalries. Comedy just knows smiles. So just know you got a couple of good ones from me and my friends.
That's awesome, man. That's wild. But when normal people, when I say normal people who don't play in the NFL, like you said, they have like the water cooler talk, they have the bullshit small talk. Does that go on in the NFL? Like by lockers and stuff like that?
Oh, no question. So whenever the term locker room talk, by the way, gets thrown around, it's always like, oh man, what are those guys talking about? People have this idea that we're just like talking about just like the worst, most ridiculous things, but really it's about the same conversation that you would expect at the water cooler. If you're working at Initech, it's pretty commonly like, hey, how's the family? And like, oh, the kids are doing great. The kids are in school. These kids, they're handling this COVID stuff way better than we are. The kids aren't even complaining about wearing their masks. I mean, like, so like our conversations are, most of the time much less entertaining than one from the outside might expect. I think there's a much higher rate of Kobe versus LeBron versus MJ, who's the GOAT conversations occurring on a pretty regular basis. But I also can't say like I know, because this is the only real job that I've ever had. So I don't really know what typical water cooler talk or, outside of the locker room talk actually looks like.
Yeah, the family, you hit it on the head there. That's pretty spot on. Where do you reside on the MJ LeBron debate?
I mean, why can't we not appreciate all the rings, all the points? That's such a cop-out answer, I know, but
very cop-out.
Yeah, I mean, hey, Kobe even said
3-2-1, Jordan LeBron. Gun to head, 3-2-1, Jordan LeBron.
Kobe, 3-2-1. 3-2-1 is Kobe.
No. I'm talking like, I was trying to push you to get to say the answer. I was trying, like, gun to head, Jordan LeBron. What is it? Like, you got to just answer it.
I think it's Bron. All right, so I think it's Bron, and I can't just like leave it at that. Like, I've got to expound upon that. I think MJ had this. One of the all-time talented athletes across all sports. Had that killer instinct. I mean, I think like everybody else watching The Last Dance I was blown away. I had a pretty good idea about, like the player MJ was, and like the type of personality that or the type of mentality that he took to the court. The attention to detail and keeping the standard, to borrow one of your favorite head coaches sayings, keeping the standard, and just playing at such a high level. And, I didn't realize how personally he took literally everything. There'd be something that what was the, that he like made up essentially like a conversation or like an interaction that he had with another player. And the other player was like, yeah, I don't feel like I ever said anything like that to him.
I think it was Reggie Miller.
I feel like it might've been. And he's like, yeah, I don't even really remember like saying anything like that. And then MJ was like, oh, well, I took that personal.
Yeah. It's an all-time meme now. It's meme made.
I mean, so MJ had had the killer instinct, had all the talent in the world. But I do think LeBron has he's just such a athletic, just freak of nature. He's so big and so fast and so strong, and his athleticism is transcendent, similar to like Bo Jackson when he was playing. Like, Bo Jackson could be playing right now, and I think he would still be dominating. He's just like that transcendent of a type of athlete. Sure. So that's why I think LeBron would have to be, for me, number one. To me, it's like it's 1 and 1A. I mean, like I said, like, you got to appreciate greatness in all forms. And they're kind of different players, but you just look at like all of the greatness and glory that they've brought their cities and the teams that they've played for. It's hard. It's hard to just pick one. If I had to, it's LeBron.
And now we're officially in water cooler talk.
Here we are.
It's become a water cooler talk segment. How often speaking of that, especially because you're with the specialists and the kickers, weather has to just be a huge conversation for you guys, right? I mean, you got to know the forecast and everything.
Like, yes and no. All right. So like Wednesday morning, every week, we have our special teams meeting early in the morning. And there's frequently parts of the meeting, or there's a good chunk of the meeting where I'm not going to be like directly involved. So that's when I do my initial weather report for what Sunday is going to look like. So I just look real quick, like, okay, well, generally speaking, what's the weather kind of going to look like? If we're playing outside, which we always do, then it's a factor. And I bring it up to Sam just to bug him about it, because he just hates hearing about the weather, because he's like, the weather's gonna be the weather. It doesn't matter. It's gonna change 40 times between now and Sunday anyways. So don't bring up the effing weather to me anymore, Tucker. And of course I'll be like, all right, well, I mean, just so you know, it's gonna be 36 degrees with an 8 mile per hour crosswind, southeast, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Right.
But it's definitely more of like a thing. Sunday morning, I'll sound like such an old man when I say this, but Sunday morning when I wake up in the hotel, wherever we're staying at, but like I'll flip on the TV and I'll go to the like local news, or I'll go to the Weather Channel, and I'll just watch it for 5 or 10 minutes while I'm like brushing my teeth and changing my clothes and stuff. Yep. But man, I sound so boring right now.
No, that's always it's always a go-to. That's what we're talking about. That's for regular people. You say you've never had a job. If I'm at the coffee machine, or somebody kind of walks in, there's just time to kill. You don't really want to stand there in awkward silence. You got the old, man, I can't believe that it's been this warm in December. And then that automatically starts it up, and it gets you through to where you can go your separate ways, and it's not totally awkward. So there you go. Could you? Do you think you could be? Do you think you could be a local? Like, could you do? Have you done a weather report in Baltimore? Like, have you gone on TV and done the whole like, you got a strong headwind coming in this way?
I wish I had that sort of dexterity, but in order to pull that off in front of the green screen, you have to everything you have to do backwards, like as like the weather person. I cannot for the life of me. In like 4th or 5th grade, we had like the elementary school news-wide, or the school-wide news broadcast that the students would put on, and we had like a little green screen and all that stuff, and I would like try to point out like stuff that would pop up, like a little graphic that would pop up, and I'd be on like the complete wrong side. The thing would be over here. Like, I'm having a tough time figuring it out on this Zoom call right now.
Right. Yeah. If I'm trying to fix this side of my hair, it's the opposite. Same thing. Yeah. I hear
you. It's like the water flushing down the toilet in Australia. Like, it spins the opposite direction first time you see it. Totally freaks you out.
Does it really?
Yeah. It's like that's a Wedding Crashers reference.
Oh, okay. You big movie guy?
I'm definitely a movie guy. I say, whenever I say I'm a movie guy, as soon as I say that, someone will be like, "Oh, have you seen this?" The answer is usually like, "No," but I'll write it down. I'll watch it in 3 years.
Right? Yeah. What's your go-to? What's your movie? What do you like? What are your top 3? We're doing top 3s today.
Top 3s. And it's really hard to just rattle them off like that. I like when I hear top 3, I'm like, what's the last 3 movies that I watched?
Sure.
My wife and I just finished watching the Twilight movie series.
Oh, wow. I'm sorry.
No, it was my idea. And we started watching the first one, and it brought back, because like those movies came out in like 2000,
yeah,
2000,
2000.
Yeah. And I remember the movies as being like so hyped up, and all the preteen like girls and boys like going to the movie theater, and line wrapped around like the entire mall just to watch freaking Twilight. And I mean, the movies are so bad. They're terrible movies. But just like the brooding like moodiness of like the vampires, and like this like Taylor Lautner is supposed to be this like tough werewolf kid, but he's got like this kind of like high voice. It just like doesn't, none of it like like just in the first 15 minutes of the first movie alone, like, if you're watching a movie with your wife or something, you do like the look sideways to see the reaction. And
are we in this, or are we moving on to something else?
Yeah, we were like looking at each other like every like 3 or 4 minutes, like, are we actually watching this? Like, we gonna do this?
And you powered through.
We did. We powered through. And there's 5 movies. There's because the last 2 are like broken up into. I mean, that's the magic of Hollywood right there. The business of Hollywood. Just raking in Mad Skrilla for those last 4 flicks. But
yeah, Mad Skrilla, dude. Whoa. That is I got to add that into my vocabulary there. Mad Skrilla. We just did that with the Hunger Games, actually. Have you watched the Hunger Games?
Oh yeah. Oh, that's a good.
Those are good.
I like I definitely like the storylines there. Like to me, Hunger Games would be way sweeter if it was. I mean, they're PG-13 movies because they got to be. They're like the young adult novels. Like they've got to be like accessible to like the kids who read the books. So you can't have Katniss Everdeen like dropping F-bombs all over the place, or like like
decapitating,
like having like just blood like pouring down her arms or something. like I would love to see like the reiteration of Hunger Games. Well, I guess it already exists. It's probably, you could probably just say like the Purge, and that's like
Game of Thrones, maybe. I don't know if you're a Thrones. I'm not really a Thrones guy. I don't know if you're a Thrones. You kind of strike me as a Thrones guy.
We definitely watched all of Game of Thrones. Yeah. It got like so many people complained about the final season, about how it didn't live up to the hype, you know, of all the other ones. Like, I mean, I still enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty sweet. I borrowed a celly after kicking like a nice long kick, you know, one that just splits the uprights, comes off the foot like right how you want it. There's like the ice guy, like the whatever his title is in Game of Thrones, like the Ice King guy. He's like the gladiator style, like.
Oh yeah, I think you did that against the Steelers probably because I wanted to punch you in the face.
Yeah, a time or two.
So I wanted to ask you about that though, with the celebrations. Did you like look up to the Grammaticas a lot when you were growing up? I mean, you've nailed some pretty good kicker celebrations.
You know, I've kind of I bring that up, and then like I've more recently just kind of gone away from like the ridiculous sellies because I see
you've been a little tame. Yeah.
Well, I see like the video, like I've seen the videos of myself or the GIFs that, which is like, I mean, it's really, it's both like embarrassing, like cool all at the same time that I have like GIFs of myself.
Oh, you're a GIF guy. You don't call them GIF. You're on the GIF side.
So what are you?
GIF. GIF as in like gift, like without the
so I mean, like what is GIF? You almost caught me. I almost said GIF. What does GIF actually stand for? I know the first word is graphics, like interface.
Graphic interface.
Okay. So like it would make sense. It would make sense. The founder or the creator of the GIF said that it's pronounced GIF, but either is acceptable because it stands for graphics interface.
Okay. All right. Anyway,
whatever it stands for.
I'll look it up. These celebrations, why are they tame now? What, you're embarrassed? What's going on?
Oh, I see the GIFs and I'm like, man, like I dance like that, or man, I look like that. I gotta like take it down a notch. So there's also like, I don't know, there's just it's kind of like a different energy that I feel like I've been playing with the last several years. Like I feel like I'm just out there to do my job. I'm out there to contribute. I'm out there to put points on the board, and I just want to win. You know, I want to perform well, and I want to win. And
do that.
Like all of the stuff, all of the, you know, celebrating. Like I get more joy out of watching my teammates celebrate when they score touchdowns or like lay somebody out or whatever else it may be. Like, you know, I don't need to as much of a me guy as I definitely like. Morgan and Sam, our long snapper and punter, yeah. Like they would agree with this. As much as a me guy as like I kind of like pretend to be, I really just want to see my teammates do well, and I want to win, man. So like the other night we got to knock down. I emphasize we got to go and knock down a game winner, like a tough kick on the road, Cleveland, Monday Night Football, and
unreal, yeah.
I mean, I just was really more than anything. You're kind of overcome with like a sense of like relief and just like satisfaction. And then after the fact, when we're all in the locker room, all masked up and you know, celebrating, that's when we have fun. But
sure.
I mean, like I still knew there were 2 seconds left on the clock. I've seen too many movies play out where there's like some crazy, you know, multilateral play like that flips the game on its head, like on the last play. And I mean, it's definitely like it's why any young kicker like starts playing, you know. It's like they want, like if they want to be great, they want to be in those moments, and they want to like win in those moments, because that's like the most fun shit ever. But then you know, like now, fortunately, having done that a number of times, it's almost more of like a relief. It's like I expect myself, we expect me to do just that. So I don't know. Yeah, it's like a different energy that I feel like I've been feeling the last couple of years, and it's been working for us, and we're winning a lot of games, and we've got a good thing going. So I don't want to get in the way with a really shitty version of my hotline bling dance.
Can you? Okay, so I get asked to be put on the spot a lot with what I do, and I enjoy it and everything like that. It can be sometimes like, if I'm at a bar or whatever, and somebody asks me, "Oh, can we get some Mel Kiper?" I'm kind of like, no, not right now. Anyway, my point is, I'm going to put you on the spot here. My sister, Maddie, she's 23. She loves to hate your celebrations so much. So could you possibly give me a little like air, say like, Maddie, this one's for you. Give me a little Justin Tucker like air guitar real quick. I could just something, because I got to be the brother and I got to stick this knife in her a little bit. It'd be so funny. Can you do something for me? Do I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's only fair, as a man who understands, you get put on the spot with all the impressions, I'm sure, all the time. So I can give you just that, a little air guitar. Maddie, this one's for you.
Oh, that's gonna be so killer, man. That's awesome. That was freaking great, dude. Oh my gosh. Are you on TikTok?
I'm definitely not on TikTok.
You can be good on TikTok, but it's, the Steelers, we're dealing with a lot of distractions with all that bullshit. So I hear you. Are you too old for it, you think, or?
Not probably. Yeah. My wife just walked in and she nods. Yes. I'm definitely too old. I'm not like I said, I'm definitely not a good enough dancer. Like Juju can dance. So,
he can. Yeah.
So, and he's a younger guy, so totally makes sense. Plus, like, social media is, I mean, as you well know, social media is like so huge for like growing a brand and all that stuff. So, hey man, that's part of it. What makes him. Like, he's super entertaining on and off the field.
Nah, you're right. I know. Hey, did settle it for us? Did Lamar shit, or was that cramps?
No to the former. No, he was like legitimately like seizing up, and he needed an IV and then some. So
yeah. I figured, but there's just conspiracy theorists out there, and I figured, if I have a Raven, I got to ask the question. I wouldn't be doing my journalistic duty if I didn't. Last one for you here. When you're kicking in these situations, have you seen Happy Gilmore? Movie Happy Gilmore?
Oh, yeah.
Of course. Happy place. Do you have a happy place? Is that where you go to when you're 57-yarder with a game on the line, or what's your process mentally?
I really just try to keep it as simple as possible. I try to not think about all of the extraneous stuff. I just think about the action of seeing my foot hit the ball, seeing the ball leave my foot and go right towards a small target that I picked out. And not to get all like existential or yogic on you or anything like that, but like it's really about being like present and being like in that moment and appreciating it, having like just an acknowledgement that like it's totally okay to have every feeling all at the same time. Like, you can be confident, you can be nervous, you can be scared, you can be feeling all of those things all at the same time, but none of that will actually affect the outcome of the play. Like, the only thing that will affect the outcome of the play is like making my body do what it's supposed to do, and that's just see the ball and kick the ball. And I sound like a broken record because I said that a lot of times, especially recently. But it really is. It has to be as simple as that. Now, there have been plenty of times where something will kind of get in my head, like, man, like, all right, why am I thinking about this so much? And then, it's like, it could be, oh, the field is really torn up right now. Like, I really need to make sure I get my studs in the ground so I don't slip or I sink, and then I push the ball or pull it or whatever it may be. And we've still made kicks while I've been like thinking about something like that. But when the ball comes off my foot, how I want it to, it's because I'm only thinking about like 3 things tops. It's seeing the ball from Morgan's fingertips, spotted by Sam's, picking out like a dimple on the ball that I'm going to hit with the like metatarsal on my on my foot, and then planting wide, jumping downfield, and just seeing the ball go where it's supposed to go. Man. I said 3 things and I said like 40, but there you go.
That was a master class right there in kicking, man. There's people are going to be, fucking using that. You should be getting paid for your lessons mentally and existentially.
I'm being compensated pretty well, so I appreciate the Ravens for that.
Oh, that's true for physically, but I just meant like then on the side, I think Denzel Washington does like master class in acting. You could do master class in kicking. You know what I mean? Like to double up on it, to teach people.
It's also fake it till you make it type of thing. Like I'm just here so I don't get fined.
There you go. Justin, I know you got meetings and everything, man. Thanks so much. A lot of fun to meet you and talk to you, and best of luck the rest of the way, my man.
Yeah, good to meet you. Big fan of yours as well. Keep up to the McConaughey's and the Mel Kipers and the Coach O's. Gold Tigers.
Gold Tigers. All right, buddy. Talk to you.